इसको फुल कर दो, शेयर स्क्रीन उस पर आएगा ना। ठीक है। हेलो, यस। Yes, we can go ahead.
Sir, give me a moment, please. The journey is never ending. There's always gonna be growth, improvement, and adversity. You just got to take it all in and do what's right. Continue to grow, continue to live in the moment. So, for starting a new chapter of learning, I, Riya Kumari, being your host for today's event, wants to extend a warm greeting and good morning to all of you present here. I hope you all are doing amazing. On behalf of the whole SEMS family, I welcome you all for today's international webinar on the topic Vocationalization of Education. And to add our guest of honor and today's speaker, Dr. D.D. Agarwal. It is a great honor to have you with us. We are very grateful for your presence. Also, I see quite a number of people are joining us. Before I proceed, let me take a brief moment for the introduction of my organization. SEMS Welfare Foundation is a non-profit entity established to work in the areas of education, social welfare, women empowerment, skill development, and entrepreneurship, livelihood generation and employability, health, research, culture, international cooperation, sports, environment protection, or any other similar sectors. We promote healthy lives, a balanced and active community, and strong businesses. Vocationalization of education means training in some vocations at higher secondary level with general education. The aim and objective of vocationalization of education is to develop a healthy attitude among students towards work and life, to enhance individual employability, to reduce the mismatch between the demand and supply of the skill, manpower, and many more. Now, let me introduce today's speaker to you all. Dr. D.D. Agarwal is the lecturer, reader, professor, controller of exam, and vice chancellor of Jivaji University, Gwalior. He has been awarded Professor P.K. Bose Memorial Medal by Indian Chemical Society for the year 2015. He has over 30 years of teaching experience in several colleges and universities. He has developed the following technologies in the last 20 years for the small scale industries, such as preparation of tetrabromobisphenol A flame retardant, preparation of bromoxyl, laudination of vanillin, preparation of cellulose, preparation of CMC, precipitated silica gel, placed 900 plus students to various leading MNCs and Indian corporate organizations in the field of management, chemistry, chemical engineering, electronics and software industry. International Journal of Current Research 2019 11 3 1855 to 1861, impact factor 7.7, current chemistry letter 2019-8 125 to 126, medical chemical chemistry research 2016-25 1551 to 1563, impact factor 1.6 are some of his publications. Before starting with today's event, there are some ground rules which the participants need to obey and follow them. Feel free to drop your question in the chat box. We will answer every question in the end. Every participant is requested to keep their mic mute. Lastly, a feedback form will be shared in the chat box. Now, over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for introduction. Now, Today's topic is vocationalization of education and research. Basically, in India, if we look at as far as the education is concerned, the out of the 100 eligible employable youth, government can give job only 1 to 2%. Maximum it can go up to 3%, but normally it is 1 to 2%. The corporate sector can give job to 3 to 5%. So total come out it's 7 to 8%, and 90% plus student has to find jobs in the unorganized sector. Unfortunately, we have a limited scope as well as the unorganized education in unorganized sector is concerned. Now, if we look at the ancient India, if you look the history, in first AD, we have got 30% of the world GDP. India was having 30% of the world GDP, while in the case of in the case of the up to 1600 AD, we have got a GDP up to 24% of the world GDP. But after the colonization, the Indian contribution to the world GDP dropped down to 2%. And when we became free, it was around 1.6, 1.7% of the world GDP. So you can see that why it happened. Now, if you look at this, in ancient times, India had got a very good system of vocational education. Now we have got 64 vocations in which the education was imparted to each and every person or the employable youth. So by that, we were able to create master craftsmen in each and every 64 vocations are there in which we used to give education. But after independence, what we continued was the education system which was left over by the Britishers to this country. We have got the general academic education up to 12th, as well as the BA, BSc, BCom, and so on, maybe a little bit of engineering, medical, etc. But the major graduation was in the arts and science and social science groups or commerce. But the this kind of education can give job only to 7 to 8% students, but 90% plus who are going into the unorganized sector, they were not in a position to find a suitable skill to either have their own enterprise or employable into some other enterprise. So for that, the vocational education system is required. Now, just after independence from 1948 onwards, we every government committee, the HRD committee, suggested the introduction of the vocational education. In 1950, ITI system of education was introduced, and all other the Kothari Commission, Mudaliar Commission, and so on, up to the new education policy, there has been a reference of vocational education that majority of the students should be given vocational education. But unfortunately, it is not taking place. In the last 70 years, we have not been able to push the vocational education up to a desired level. It is hardly staying at 3 to 5% of the total employable youth. So it is a very important area. We need to know first why the vocational education is not growing in this country. The first major issue is the social acceptability. Because in the last few hundred years, the vocations, whether it is carpentry, whether it is laundry, whether it is construction, whether it is agriculture, they were let down in the social ladder. So the student and their parents are not willing to go into these areas for education. And also structured education is not there. Government tried to introduce vocational education at senior secondary level by introducing one or two papers in few vacations. But it did not work out. There were few reasons that the labs were not there, qualified teachers were not there, and also the after 12th, there was no ladder that they can go for graduation and post graduation into those areas. So until and unless we do not create a ladder up to the higher level, the student can go for graduation, post-graduation, and research. So they can have a social acceptability as well as the skill what they are getting, they are respected in the society. So what is needed is we need a thought shift from employment to employability. Now, most of the students, as you can see that in every competition, for one position, there are 100 to 300 students who are applying for the job, but only one will get. The rest will not be getting it. So we have to create a thought shift that the student has to look for not employment but employability. So they can give, they must learn how to fish, not just to get a fish. So this will help in creating employment as well as they will give employment to others also. So what is required is a uh, thought shift. For the challenges are social appreciation of the skill as a livelihood asset. As I told you just now, that is social appreciation of the skill is very important, which is lacking in our country. Linking education to employability in the global knowledge economy. As you can see that throughout the globe, after the globalization of uh, world, there is a need and there is opportunities to get an employment throughout the world apart from India. So if you have gotten education or skills, then you can find a job elsewhere in the world. Now, pumping the global talent pipeline in 21st century is imperative. Global talent deficit is fundamental to sustainability. You can see that in software, Indian engineers are going throughout the world because there is a deficit into that skill. Now, the AI and other areas are coming up, data science and so on, where the global talent deficit is there, and those who are getting these skills will find placement throughout the world. External markets are not delivering the right skill at the pace of change. So there is a need that we keep on working on the new areas of the skill. Now, this I have already told that employment scenario, the government jobs, the organized sector, and the unorganized sector. Hence, India needs education for these 92%. Now, the vocational education and training, if you look at the statistics of US, Japan, Korea, etc., there the vocational education that student going are 80 to 90%. They opt for vocational education and training. So what is, we have got 300 million unemployed. Most of them lack some sort of competency skill or the vocational education or training or the entrepreneurship skill. So what is desired is that we have to look for these education into our education system. For then what is needed is the government, education institution, industry, trade and services. Everyone has to come closer and we need to uh, advertise the education policy because we still in our country, neither the government nor the education centers, they are advertising that the vocational education and training or employable education and training are very important part of the education. And also, nobody is telling that only 1 or 2% can go for the government job. So there is no need to have a crowd only after the competition, whether it is SSC, whether it is Agniveer, whether it is the Patwari, police constable, and so on. Even in for those positions, you can see that the ratio of applicant is 1 is to 200 to 300. And we need to communicate to the people that only 27 million work with the government and private sector, while the 373 million work for SMA, agriculture, construction, that is the unorganized sector. Now, we need to explain the reason why India must export more and more world-class uh, education. So we can export our products, we can improve our buying power of the citizens, like it has been shown by India in IT, software, diamonds, pharma, and so on. So now what is the agenda? Now every student has to be taught at the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th level that they should look for career planning. Now what career planning? It should be that student should evaluate himself, explore the options available in the market. Now the students are not doing it. They are not exploring that what are the options available. Then what are their goals? They should take decisions, set their goals, and and chalk out a work plan. And that work plan has to be implemented in a very careful manner. Life is a sum of all your choices because whatever choices you make in your life, in your career, that is an important part. Then career planning, it is an active, ongoing, and lifelong process. The career planning does not end with either 12th or engineering, medical, or any kind of graduation. But even after entering into the job, you have to plan your career, and it goes on till you retire in your life. More than just a job or a series of job responsive to other life roles, because you have to do a various kind of life roles when you grow in your career. A successful transition from school to the world of the work and from job to job across the lifespan and to be a productive citizen. So that is the entire gambit of the career planning. The importance of the career planning is career planning can help you to enter the workforce. So you can choose a right uh, place where you want to work and then prepare yourself accordingly so you enter into a right kind of a workforce. Plan a right education, deal with changing workplace demands because you can see that the knowledge cycle is very also very short. After 5 or 10 years, what happens is you will have to look for upgradation of your skills. Otherwise, you will become obsolete. You will not be attracting the better remunerations, increments, and so on, and the promotions. So, what is desired is that you should develop skills at every 5 years gap or so on. Deal with changing workplace demand, anticipate trends or changes. Everyone has to look what is coming in the future next 5 years or 10 years. So once you find out that what is coming in and you prepare accordingly or you upgrade yourself with the in the light of the future, then you can grow in your life, plan your career advancement. Then stages of career planning, evaluate yourself, exploration, making decisions that I have told just now, and getting goals, creating a plan, implementing the plan or executing the plan in a very meticulous manner. So it's a very important one. First, for labor market information includes occupational description, what kind of job it is, what kind of skills it is needed, what are the salaries are there into the possible jobs, employment requirements, what are the employment requirements, and what are the unemployment or the labor shortages there. If there is already a labor surplus or the manpower surplus into that area, then it is not very attractive. If you look then if a labor shortage is there, for example, if we look at in the present scenario, AI, digital economy, or these areas, or the instrumentation, and so many areas are there where there is a shortage of manpower. So data science and so on. So if you look for that and prepare yourself accordingly in the 2 or 3 years, then you will be able to get a good opportunity, a good career. Now consider what work is available locally, regionally, or nationally, or outside the world, outside the country. So every candidate, every student has to plan that what is available locally, what is the jobs available regionally, and what are the jobs available nationally. So identify three important highlights or the trends. Note if opportunity is good, stable, or poor. It's a very important one also. Okay, whatever opportunity, job opportunities are there, whether they are stable, whether they are good or not. So you have to look at for everything. Now prepare for the unexpected. Choose three for possible options. देखिए, every student needs when he is or she is in the 10th level or 12th level, they need to identify two or three or four options. Compare their options, outline concerns, describe each scenario, identify actions that you can or have to take, select the options that work the best. So you have not just to dream, which is not possible, but you have to be realistic. Identify that what uh, the options which you have got and which are the realistic and what are the gaps available between your existing knowledge base and the requirement of the job so that you can fill up that gap. And if the gap is too large, then it's not difficult, it is not possible for you to fill it up, then you can leave that option. Be willing to change your mind. In the present system, what is happening is the over education has led to a mismatch between supply and demand. Now, if you can see that, I give you a very simple example. Even at Jivaji University, where I was working, they are passing, that university is passing 60,000 BA, BSc, and BCom students every year. But there is no demand. Same is happening in engineering. Now, if you look at every state, in by 2012 and 14, there were so many engineering college and lakhs of students were passing out, but there was no demand in the market. So that overproduction led to a glut, and ultimately what happened? More than 60% of the engineering institution has closed down, and some more are in the line of closing down. Now, this is because we over education has led to a mismatch. And what is happening is at senior secondary level and graduation level, students are doing more than one kind of a course. They are preparing for competition, simultaneously doing graduation, simultaneously doing some other professional course. Now they are not focusing at one area. Now, this over education or the overproduction has created a situation where the students are at a crossroad. All students should have access to career guidance services so that they can make well informed choices. देखिए, what is happening is in our institutions at the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th level, or even at graduation level, the career guidance is not being imparted to the students. Most of the parents in the rural and semi-urban areas, they are not aware what are the career options available after the ninth class or the eighth class. So whatever choices they are making is based on either the what fathers or parents says, or what a brother says, or what friend says, or somebody in the family says. So the student has not his own choices. There is no evaluation of the student as far as its aptitude is concerned and its willingness is concerned. So this is creating a kind of a situation where he is not going for a right kind of education. So this risk mismatches and the skill of the graduates and market requirements are not matching. The prospective student and their parents should receive high quality information on the market outcome of the graduates by the institution and the kind of the market needs as far as the market needs are concerned. If it is done, then we will be in a position to fix the education in the right perspective. Now, here lies the need that the vocational education here can help us in getting the uh, real right skill or divert the student into the right direction. Now, it will help in reduction in the unemployment, creation of SMEs, the small scale industries, world class productivity and quality, exports and tourism surge, GDP increase, per capita advantage. देखिए, what happens is India is now the fifth largest economy, and in the future we want to grow. We want to say create our GDP or the economy to 20 trillion, 30 trillion, or so on. Now, this can only be possible once we have got every citizen as a productive citizen, every citizen who produces the maximum based on his capacity. And the only key is education. So, vocational education, what we used to have in earlier times, 2000 years back or so, 15 years back or so. So, we need to bring that education system, the education requirement in practice. Now, government has tried in last 70 years uh, to create vocational education because what lack of vocational education is doing, I've given you a slide where the student they are going for SSC, higher education and so on, but they are not getting job. They are falling as rejected from the HRD system and they are coming in as unemployment youth and they may become a great problem for the society. So what is required is a structured and a very systematic way how to plan the vocational education and training. As I told you that government in the last 70 years has worked hard in every education policy they have introduced that vocational education should be increased up to 50% plus. Even new education policy, the National Education Policy 2020, also they have said that in by 2025, the 50% plus students should go for vocational education. But still, we do not have a structured vocational education either in academic field, that senior secondary school, or even at ITIs. Now, what is required is a holistic plan for vocational education and training. Now we need to map the enterprise as a national data bank. We need to identify all economic activity in geographical areas or in geographical zones. The country has to be divided into various geographical zones in order to identify what are the economic activities going on in the village, in the city, in the district wise, in the state level. The information has to be complied state wise and area wise information to be complied category wise because still India does not have a database. I give you an example. India is having 1 crore commercial vehicle, that is the commercial trucks. We need 1.5 crores commercial drivers, but we do not have an education system for commercial drivers. So what we are getting is the product from Chele Ustad, from unqualified person who have learned by virtue of practice, same he hands it over his skill to the next person. So we do not have an education system. Same is happening uh, in laundry, same is happening in carpentry, same is happening in all walks of life. Even you can see that every state in a city has got a beautician or a barber shop, but we do not have a systematic education for these profession or the vocation. So we need first is to identify what are the uh, requirements uh, as far as any profession is concerned. So we have to map up the country, divide it into various geographical zones, and then know the needs even from village point of view, city point of view, district, state, and every point of view, or even the sector of industry point of view. So now this will help identify, register all institutions. We have got engineering colleges, medical college, a lot of degree colleges, and the universities number have grown from uh, 700 plus into this country. Now we need to identify what type of institutions they are, type of courses they are offering, duration, what is the cost, level of qualification, facilities and infrastructure offered by these, and what kind of tie-ups they have got practical training and certification of offered and the quality assurance. So, and whatever the faculties they have got, because this is the backbone. If we may have large number of institutions, but what they are producing is not marketable, is not productive, then such huge number of education institution has no meaning. Now we need to also amend the labor policy. Depending upon the size of the enterprise, trainees, apprenticeship can be kept and used. देखिए, every industry or every organization has to interact with the education system so they can get a right kind of trained manpower for their enterprise. Now, one more thing is needed is that government need to register every person, whether he is a carpenter, whether he is a plumber, whether he is an engineer, whether he is a doctor, whether it is a scientist, everyone need has a database, national database. Whoever is qualified should be registered. So the nation knows that how many persons we have got into a particular skill area. Now, for every job, there should be a need that you should have a particular, as I told you, that for drivers for the commercial vehicle, we need to have a registration. We have done the education in commercial vehicle driving. Now they should have a registration and it should be made a law. Only those who are registered can get a job as a commercial driver. Like we have registration for doctors, we have registration for pharmacists, but we need to have registration for each and every vocation and profession. And every person who is passing out from anywhere should be registered. So that will help in motivating the people to get education. Draw, draw, draw out rules for their part-time employment can be paid a stipend. This is for the student who go as a part-time trainee into an organization can be paid stipend on days worked, no conflict with permanent staff, no guarantee of a permanent job. Maximum stipend will be a minimum wages. So the industries should also come up, but it is not only the responsibility of the industry, but it is the responsibility of the academic institution also to provide education and skill uh, as per the need of the society or as per the need of the industry. Now, get the best possible syllabus. Now, I tell you, most of the syllabus, what is being taught in SSC, even in ITI, which is mainly targeted for industry, there the problem is that the syllabus and the experiments which are written over there are outdated. No industry is using those kind of skills at the moment, what is being provided by those, because the syllabus is obsolete. So it has to be made up to the mark. One more problem with ITI students is that, again, the problem with ITI is it is a certificate after 10th. It's maybe a 1 year or 2 years. But after that, they cannot get jobs. They cannot get education on the higher side or at the graduation and the post graduation level. So the ladder stops over there. So it does not attract good students. So there has to be a government need to create a ladder that the student who is passing out ITI, there is a bit opening that they can go to the second year of the uh, diploma course, engineering diploma course, but the engineering diploma course requirement is also after 10th. So if a student does 2 years of ITI, why he should go for to into the second year of the 3 years diploma course? He does not get any added advantage. He can, there is no, they are not considered equivalent to 12th. This is needed that they should be made equivalent to 12 so they can go for graduation. Apart from that, there should be vocational education degrees, BVoc degrees at the graduation and post-graduation level, BVoc, MVoc at the post-graduation, and then the research. So the student will have a visibility that I can go up to a very higher level, and this will give respect to the profession also. So that is very much needed in our country. So the best possible syllabus we have to create, we can take some guidance from those countries who have done a lot in the vocational education in the last 50 to 70 years or more than that. So we can say like UK is there, Germany is there, Korea is there, Japan is there, America is there. So we can create, and looking into the Indian requirements, we can create courses at ninth level, eighth level, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th level, and there it should be very good ones. We can make an integrated system where the ITI should also give 2 years course after 10th, which should be equivalent to 12th, or it should be given a 12th status. And these may be developed in Indian languages also, because not only in English, but it should be in the regional languages. So the students from the uh, rural and the suburban areas can take part into those courses. Now, what India needs is that it needs to advertise, it needs to acquaint or advertise in on a large scale as far as the vocational education and training, and as well as the employment and entrepreneurship idea. Now, the media, print media, TV, radio, government can ask the all TVs to at least give a half an hour program on vocational education, and they can highlight the celebrities who have grown into those areas by taking those education. Now, all MPs and MLAs, as they are moving a lot with the people in the society, so they should at- go and tell the people that what is need of the day is the vocational education. So they should, because it is their responsibility. The education has to be into the right direction. The youth organization, like we have got youth organization, they do lot of activities. They do uh, they have the penetration to the student community. Now, if they come out and they advertise that the vocational education is the need of the day. And so the whether it is BJP, Congress, Communist or Aam Aadmi or any other party, so their youth wing should go and popularize among students that vocational education is the need of the day, and the seminars can be organized for the same. The business associations, where CII, FICCI, SOCHM, chambers of commerce, etc., should come forward and make the people aware that it is the need of the day. Small and in medium business trade organization, because a lot of people are working in their organization. So if they make them aware, because they are the largest number of the employees in this country, if they motivate their employees that they should uh, train their wards into vocational education, and this will help in growing the vocational education. All India management organizations, economic ministries in center and states, universities in India, the colleges in India, they all need to popularize vocational education. Now, there are various courses, now vocational courses, which can be offered, and some of them are being offered here and there, but not in a vocational manner at the 12th graduation and post-graduation level. Some are maybe available in ITIs, but again, I told you that ITIs do not have a ladder to go up at the graduation and post-graduation level. So the good students are not being attracted over there. So you can see that marketing, salesmanship, accounting and auditing, electrical technology, automobile science, air conditioning and refrigeration. Okay, there are two areas. One is engineering, where we are mainly looking for manufacturing. But from R&D point of view, the science part is equally important. So in many countries like America, Europe, the South Korea, Japan, they have got universities on applied science or the vocational universities into their countries, where the graduation and post-graduation in vocational areas is imparted to the students. And this help in attracting good quality students into those areas, into those universities. So electronic technology, dairy science. Dairy science is one of the biggest areas. And horticulture again is a very big area in the country because large number of persons are involved into this sector. And what is desired is that food and services are growing. Food industry is growing at a rate of say 20 to 30%, but we do not have. I give you an example, Diggy. If you can look at the American McDonald, they have got one product, but they have standardized it. That is their burger. And with that, they have got a chain throughout the world. Now, India has got a very vast variety of food, snacks, lunch and dinner. So variety of foods is available. If we optimize, standardize, do research into these areas, we can develop a large number of uh, restaurants throughout the world. So it's a very big area. Fashion design and clothing again is a very big area because India is very rich as far as the traditions are concerned. The cotton and various kind of thread is being manufactured. Cotton we are producing, wool we are producing silk and so on. So khadi are also from the cotton. So we can develop this area as one of the very area. But again, education, a systematic education is needed. Bakery and confectionery again is a very fast growing area. Poultry farming, financial market management, retail services and operation because these services are going at a very fast rate. So same is with footwear design and production. Solar energy again is an area which is a very front running area. It's a growing area because the future energy resources are based on solar, are going to be based on solar energy. Furniture and cabinet making because in India there is no systematic education as far as the furniture industry is concerned. Same is with laundry science because we do not have education in laundry science. Security management again, we have got more than 1 crore security guards, supervisors, and so on, but we do not have a education system on security. So these are areas, animal husbandry. We used to have traditional animal husbandry. We used to have pachu melas, but we have not made an education in this area. This is a very big area where we can provide a lot of employment and we can uh, educate a large number of people. It will help in developing the good quality of the manpower, good quality of the animal, use milk and milk products production center will be created. So this is a very water management because it's a future requirement. Plumbing science, we don't have any education. Carpentry, we don't have education. Cosmetic science and beauty culture. Again, I told you we do not have a systematic education into this area. Pharmaceutical marketing, we do not have courses into this area. Industrial chemistry. So these are areas which need to be taken into consideration. So like that, so many areas I've just identified. Diagnostic, because every in disease we have seen when we have corona, we have got other blood pressure, diabetes, and so on. We need the manpower trained for taking samples, analyzing the samples, and finding out what are the biological parameters. So diagnostic is an area which is growing very fast in this country and need that the education, systematic education be given into this area. Herbal plant science, because now in the last 10, 15 years, people have realized the use of the Ayurveda or the herbal science. So we need to educate people as far as the herbal science is concerned. Instrumentation, electronics, biomedical instrumentation, because diagnostic require uh, all kind of biomedical instrumentation. So their maintenance, their development, production, and R&D, we need trained manpower. Organic farming, this is a very important area because we have realized the hazards of pesticides, we have realized the hazards of fertilizers, and we are going back to the original organic farming. So this is an area where we need to create education system uh, for the agriculturalist. Pesticide again is in because the student do not have education and the agriculturalists do not have education as far as the pesticides is concerned. So we should have courses on pesticides. Fermentation science and technology is a very important area and coming up in the future. Jewelry and gem science again require because we are the largest exporters of the diamond and the jewelry throughout the world. Plant science, animation, and graphic design is a lot of potential because a lot of work is going into these areas. Hospital instrumentation manager, catering technology, because this is again a growing area with 25% or more than that. Data analytics, multimedia animation, livestock production and management, floriculture, landscape building technology, software development, food science and technology. So like that, you can see that logistics management, renewable energy, software development, industrial microbiology, massage therapy, property management, small scale management, business management. So these are the areas which require attention. And if the students are educated into these areas at senior secondary, at graduation and post-graduation level, making vocational degrees operable, then we will be in a position to create job for the 90% of the masses which are not having the jobs. What we require is a research-focused institutions, career-focused institution, and foundation institutions. So, as far as vocational education is concerned, the one most important area is that we should create in every state a vocational university because we do not have a vocational university. We are not creating good skilled teachers into that area, and also the ITI and the senior secondary syllabus at the senior secondary level in the academic areas. It has to be integrated in such a way that there has to be a visibility. A student joining a vocational education system feels free that they are able to go up to the highest level, that is the research level. Then only we can make the uh, vocationalization of education successful, make 90% plus those who are going in unorganized sector as a skilled manpower, they will contribute to the economy and we will be in a position to get a 20, 30 trillion economy in the next coming years. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, if there are any questions, I am ready to take up the questions.
Mm. Thank you, sir. Now you can stop sharing your screen, sir. Hello?
Just a moment.
Yes, sir.
अभी
So in the top of the screen, you will be viewing. You are viewing Professor Dr. D.D. Agarwal's screen. Over there, you can
yeah,
see stop sharing.
so, हम्म, अच्छा ठीक है हेलो
Yes, sir. Done. What a wonderful knowledge given by you, sir. I hope our audience learned many new things from this session. Once again, I would like to thank you for joining us and sharing your experience, your precious time and knowledge with us. So there are a few questions which our audience wants to be answered. So with your
Oh,
permission,
sure.
shall we? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Could sir throw some lights on higher education institution?
In what way? Higher education institutions means where graduation, post-graduation, and research is carried out. For example, we have got central universities, we have got state-level universities, we have got IITs, we have got NITs, where the post-graduation and research is being graduation, post-graduation research is being offered.
All right.
Any
Thank you,
further?
sir. So anything else which you want to add? Hello.
Yes.
So anything else which you want to add for this question?
The higher education institution, I told you that Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, the Delhi University, BHU, AMU, and all these kind of central universities are here. They have got state universities. In every state, there are, depending on the size of the state, there are universities. One more thing I can tell you is that we have got large number of colleges in this country. Now, this is only a system in this country also, because India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, these four countries have got affiliating system of education where the UG, PG colleges are affiliated to a university. If you go to US, Europe, or America, there the universities, the graduation and post graduation is there is only in universities.
Yes, sir. So, sir, the next question is how to engage students better in professional courses.
देखिए, professional courses, देखिए, why we can give a term vocational, professional, it is one and the same. Because every student, for minimum, he can read, write, and speak. Education is required up to 10th level, maximum 12th level. But after that, every student need to earn his livelihood, that is the bread and butter. So for that, they have to go for some vocation or a profession. Now, we can say that scientist is a profession, engineering is a profession, medical is a profession. The, as I told you that 90% student has to go for some vocation, like carpentry, agriculture, transport, construction. Whatever we see around is a vocation. So for that, we need to have a mindset. First is give a social respect to the vocation. Now, if we say that laundry, why is what we are experiencing problem in the present day is a carpenter's son does not want to be carpenter. He want to have a white collar job. And white collar jobs are not more than 2% or 3%. So if we give a higher education into that vocation, it will give a respect to the society. Second thing is those who have been successful into their vocation based on their success, these stories has to be told to the student to motivate them to opt for that area, that vocation.
Yes, sir. So, sir, the next question is what options are there for international students?
The international student, देखिए, some international student can also come instead of doing BA, BSc, BCom, depending on their country's requirement. They can look for some vocational education in this country.
Okay. So that's all, sir. Thank you so much for answering these questions. Now I would like to kindly open their camera for a snapshot. I would like to
I have
request
got a
everyone.
question. I have got a
Yeah,
question.
yeah, yeah.
I'm a graduate engineer from MS City, Bhopal. and my head of department was also Dr. D.D. Agrawal. He was also Professor D.D. Agrawal. In 1972, they started a sandwich program with BHL Bhopal. Sandwich program with BHL Bhopal. And 13 students of second year were selected and given to BHL for vocational training. And after the graduation, I got the job in BHL Haridwar as a regular graduate engineer. So this is also a option for the government to start a sandwich program like this.
It is there.
It is not there.
Sir,
Now it is not there.
This is the need of every institution to interact with the industry. So whatever graduate they are producing, they are ready to use. Like
No,
many
it was a special course, sandwich course. It was a special course during vacations, even Diwali vacation, summer vacation. We were not going to the houses. We were going to the industry, and after graduation also, we had a 6 months project in the industry.
6 month project,
Yes, and we have to submit a project, and there was a 200 marks for the project.
Oh, yes.
So this is a very good course. No, it should be started again.
Certainly. Many institutions have started the campus of IBM and other companies into their campus. So that is to give student the specific education where the industry experts come and teach, and also the student goes for training, because in engineering there are training schedule in the third semester, minor project, then they have got a major project. So if everything, if minor major project is done as per the need of the industry, that particular industry, as well as they have 1 or 2 paper depending on the job requirement into that industry, in that situation the job will be readily available to the student.
I think in our college still it is not there. What sandwich course we had started, it went for 2 years only, and then people were not interested in going to the factory because they were thinking it's a boredom in that work.
So the industrial training bhi jo hai, that is just to make the student aware that this is the industrial environment. If you are willing to work, come to this area. Otherwise, go look for some another area.
Yeah, it's correct. People are not needing that type of job in a regular way. They want a study environment, academic environment.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now I request everyone to please open the camera. Thank you, everyone. It's done. Again, thank you all for attending today's webinar. And if you have any additional questions, you can contact us by email or telephone. We are happy to provide additional support to you. Feedback link is already added in the chat box. Please fill this form within 6 hours. Thank you so much for cooperating. So stay connected to us for new learnings. I, Riya Kumari, your host for the day, signing off. Have a wonderful day. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you.